Dalam BuzzPOP hari ini, kita bakal membedah My Hero Academia Season 5, episod 21. Para panelis kita malam ini terdiri daripada saya, Nadzru Iskandar daripada BuzzPOP TV. Kaki Manga kita, Anri, Alwi. What's up, bro? Sekejap. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Hai, cama-cama.
Hai, cama-cama. Anime kita, Shazli American. What's up, man?
Hello.
Ayo. So Nazir terlekat dekat DEIKA City but as soon as he can get out from all the bergaduh, I think he will join us midway. So kita akan mulakan perbincangan kita malam ini dengan reaksi satu ayat. Personally, I love this war of villains. You know, episod minggu ini berjudul Revival Party yang menonjolkan League of Villains versus Meta Liberation Army, and I feel that it is a revival for season 5 yang so far has been sejak Endeavour Agency arc has been going on a downward trend. Now dia dah revive balik, dia dah macam yeah motherfucker, this is what My Villain Academia is all about. So apakah reaksi satu ayat anda? Kita mulakan dengan Shaz yang hanya menonton anime. Silakan Shaz.
Katakan reaksi satu ayat tapi satu perenggan kau bagi tu.
Happy bro, happy. Selepas dengar Endeavour bersyarah tak habis-habis banyak episode kan. Silakan.
I think my reaksi is that it's a tragic past lah. Memang yang kalau a lot of people they tend to say that villains ni ada past filled with tragedy. So one by one kita dapat tengok lah. Macam Twice tu kita ada pernah tengok dulu dia punya background, but for Himiko Toga ni first time. Quite a surprise jugalah.
Nice. Kita akan bincangkan lagi dengan lebih lanjut dalam segmen seterusnya. Tapi dulu, Anri sebagai kaki manga, are you satisfied with this week's episode or are you telling me there's more shit that they did not adapt into the anime? Silakan.
I noticed they miss a few things from the manga, but it is not as bad as the previous episode, so it's still okay. It's like an 80-90% approval when it comes to comparison with the other previous episode. If you want to ask me what's my one sentence response for this, I would say best waifu Toga would be my answer.
Best waifu Toga.
Best waifu.
Interesting. And then kita ada beberapa komen dari penonton di rumah. Yang ni aku tak dapat baca apa yang Kudo tulis ni. But I hope it's positive. Seterusnya Caleb Paul mengatakan selamat hari kebangsaan ke-64. Selamat hari merdeka guys.
Selamat merdeka.
Yes.
Selamat merdeka.
Seterusnya Amirul Karini mengatakan too much shit to brain. Yes, it felt like this is the episode we've been waiting for, man, for season 5. After Endeavour Agency arc, banyak pointless bullshitting. Now it's like kau dapat flashback, kau dapat secret origins, kau dapat fight. It's like this is what we want. Jam-pack guys, jam-pack. Seterusnya Amir MD mengatakan Mephisto jahat tak? Mephisto jahat. Tapi lain universe dalam My Hero Academia ni tak ada Mephisto
Not yet.
Not yet. Seterusnya Caleb Paul mengatakan Japanese version of Thunderbolts. Yes. Interesting My Villain Academia is definitely interesting. Okay guys, so dengan itu kita bakal membincangkan 5 babak menarik daripada episod minggu ini. So babak menarik kita yang pertama adalah RE-DESTRO, Secret Origins, di mana asal usul RE-DESTRO dan Meta Liberation Army versi 2.0 didedahkan. Aku rasa dalam intro tu was the best This week's intro pada aku is like, oh fuck, I've been waiting for this shit, man. Menurut intro tu, after the chaos that occurred when meta-humans first appeared, when normal people first started trying to find peaceful ways to live with them, a popular ideology started circulating among meta-humans. Not suppression, but liberation. That the right to use meta powers was a natural right. His name was Chikara Yotsubashi. He called himself Destro, the man who will destroy the present. Destro brought together liberation advocates and formed the Meta-Human Liberation Army. After confronting the government and struggling against them for a few years, they were defeated. Many members were arrested and the Liberation Army disbanded. As for Destro, after writing his manifesto book in prison, he soon committed suicide. However, unknown to Destro, he had born a son. So, soalan aku kepada para panelis, apakah pendapat anda tentang asal-usul sebenar RE-DESTRO dan perjuangan Meta Liberation Army versi 2.0 ini? Adakah ideologi Destro bahawa suppression is not the way forward for meta-human society betul? Dan adakah ini iras-iras bagaikan ideologi Magneto daripada Marvel Comics di mana mutants and humans can never work together, dan juga Apocalypse, only the strong shall survive. So, apakah pendapat para panelis? Kita mulakan dengan Shaz. Silakan Shaz.
First kali aku curious lah, betul ke dia ni anak Destro? Because it's quite easy untuk, I mean, this one is dia punya dia punya organisation punya trademark lah. I'm not sure if memang is Meta Liberation Army ke ataupun memang Destro punya original trademark dari dulu. But kalau you tengok dari segi rupa kan, dia punya hidung tu tak ngam tau. Macam unless the wife punya hidung is like very mancung, macam betul ke this is anak kepada Destro tu? That is the first part lah. Then you tengok dia punya Destro punya mata tu.
Yeah.
It feels like RE-DESTRO ni macam dia dah painted on, whereas Destro tu is more like
Macam
a face mask,
like a birthmark.
like a birthmark. So my real concern here is that adakah RE-DESTRO ni somebody yang telah ambil ideology of Destro and then he tukarkan to suit dia punya own intention. Kalau kita compare dengan comics and Marvel, where we have Magneto and dia punya group tu, who believe that the meta humans are superior. I believe that yang Destro ni, the original Destro is more like Professor X tau, where he actually does not, dia tak nak macam we are superior to all, but he wants to be like, kita ni ada powers, let us use it. That is our gift. It's our, kita punya right to use it. Sama macam kita have the ability to run, to walk, to talk and all that.
But he did, name himself Destro, the man who will destroy the present. Maksudnya, he wants to destroy the present society so that meta-humans can have the right to be as they should be lah. So, I feel that's more Magneto than Professor X though.
Right. So the question is sekarang ni, adakah the story of Destro was changed by the government as propaganda? Sebab remember dalam any peperangan and any struggle is always the one who remain who write the history. You imagine dia tulis buku ni tau, dia tulis buku manifesto macam contoh kan. Macam aku ada tulis buku Starbucks ni kan. You have all the story books and everything kan. Why would the government publish such a book if it was to be something that is meant to destroy the government? It become a rally call kepada meta humans at that point of time. Why would they
black market bro? Black market maksudnya followers dia lepas kematian dia jadi apa? The English word for it martyr,
yeah.
Lepas dia mati dia jadi martyr. So they publish his book on the black market, aku rasa.
Yeah.
Apa pendapat Anri? Yeah. Are we correct so far, or are we just shadowing in the dark? Are we correct?
About what? When the book published in the black market?
Yeah.
The book was published both the black market and of course in the open market. You have to understand it's no different macam it's not like it's banned from being distributed. It's like Manga or what you call it, the books from Karl Marx, what is called it, the Das Kapital. It's readily available. You have the freedom to read it, but you have not the freedom to act upon it. Two different things.
Okay. So sorry, Shaz, continue. We just wanted clarification.
So I was going on with the point that the book itself tu was probably dah ditapis dulu tau before it becomes officially published, because I don't see how dia punya supporters would have gotten access to his book kalau he wrote it in prison. Dia dah tulis pernah memoir dia, everything, dia punya buku falsafah, everything. After that, would the followers have gotten it? I'm
Boleh
pretty sure
kot. Kalau kau jumpa dengan kau punya lawyer selalu like, this is my last will and testament of Destro. Lepas tu aku tahu lah, this is like pure conjecture lah.
Boleh
abang
lah kalau macam
abang
tu.
yang dah baca manga. Are we anywhere near to the truth? Kan macam budak-budak ni apalah dia orang cakap,
Destro's death, we didn't see him die actually. He could have been killed in custody when he was in prison. Maybe it was a forced suicide, macam they choke him to death or feed him poison. You never know, but he did die in prison. We did know the book was published after his death in both open and black market. Because remember when Mohd kasih dekat Endeavour, right? Endeavour didn't mention this book is illegal or what. He just didn't read it. So memang the two things are confirmed. The book is out there. Destro dah mati, and this guy claims to be the son. Whether we believe him is the real son or son as in terms of ideology, like I inherited his will, is a different thing to discuss on another date lah. But those are the things that I've confirmed is Destro is not around, and the book is out. So that's it.
Okay, Shaz, ada apa-apa lagi?
Pretty much tak ada lah. My real concern is just the identity of siapa ni, RE-DESTRO ni, and whether the book itself is the original book that was written. Itu je lah. That was the real concern lah.
So Anri dah cakap yes and yes. Yang yes, the book is printed publicly and also in the black market.
No, I know. But nak kata macam mana, was there any real tampering in that book?
Real tampering?
It was initially written by Destro. Itu je. That was the real question mark.
I don't think so, because the teachings of Destro and from any books kan, they didn't mention any macam clash of public of ideology. They basically spoke of the same thing and they agree upon this. So the followers of the previous Destro and RE-DESTRO, they didn't actually come into blows with each other. There's no recall of that. So from what we know from now, the books that is published is what is the Destro's last will and testament is unfiltered lah.
Nice. So before we go to Anri, kita akan ke Nazir. Nazir, apakah pendapat kau tentang asal-usul sebenar RE-DESTRO yang ditunjukkan at the beginning of this series episode ni, dan perjuangan Metal Liberation Army 2.0? Is the ideology of Destro, power, the suppression of humans correct? Pada pendapat kau, silakan.
Okay, first of all, something concern me lah. If the Metal Human punya book tu, the Liberation Army book yang Hawk bagi dekat Endeavour is a same book. So that means buku tu is specifically written only for the member lah, sebab Hawk dapat break the code yang how many was the army, when was going to be the attack, right?
Tak bro, dia gunakan the words to put in the code.
Yeah, betul.
So daripada
So that means from the word itself, Hawk dah dapat tahu what's gonna happen. So that means this book been published is not only for the public viewing as well. Maknanya memang is a message to all the army yang mana yang faham the code. Is it like that? Ataupun aku miss out some point?
Maksudnya dia macam ni. Contohnya dalam satu perenggan tu, kau ada tulis hari ini 11,000 orang telah mati di bla 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 gempa bumi. Tapi dia highlight 11,000 orang. So bila Endeavour baca page ke page, Meta Liberation Army ada 11,000 orang. Like dia kena selak sampai dia dapat baca sentence
the whole sentence lah.
Yeah.
And also pasal for the origin actually macam it's pretty interesting, but aku tak rasa yang ni macam like anak kandung, it's like maybe like one of the follower of the ideology itself yang like faham better than everyone actually. This is my thought in this so far lah, sebab
Dah
aku
dua
rasa
orang lah. Dah dua orang cakap macam ni. Syaz pun cakap benda sama je.
sebab macam kalau kita tengok the whole episode, this is like banyak origin story yang kita dapat tahu. Kita dapat Toga, kita dapat Kaki, but that's one more later lah.
So, Anri, do you agree that Destro's thoughts ni lebih kurang sama macam Magneto and Apocalypse from Marvel Comics? Apa pendapat kau? Silakan.
I think I'm with Shaz. I think he's more Xavier than Magneto. Magneto preached on the superiority of mutants, but Xavier wanted mutants to be free to do their thing without any restraints or prejudice. And this is what RE-DESTRO wanted. He knows that not all quirk users are treated equally now. Some of them are treated worse. Case in point, when we see in the early season, all for one, he took this one quirk from this one ugly guy yang banyak spike bomb, and then he transferred to another body because this one doesn't have any quirks. So you have to understand that not all quirks are blessings. Some of them got a bit rough. So I am in the thought that this guy is actually more Xavier than Magneto. What's his name? Magnus.
Eric Lansher. But
Eric
by the way,
Lansher.
Charles Xavier actually wanted peaceful coexistence. Dia bagaikan, the Martin Luther King Jr., Charles Xavier, versus, what's the name of the other guy? The other black Islam punya
I know. Nation of Islam.
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X.
It's like Eric Lansher. He doesn't believe in peaceful coexistence. He believes in supremacy. So that is the core distinction between Charles Xavier and Eric Lansher, i.e. Magneto lah. So personally, I feel like Destro is all about fuck society, destroy society, let us rebuild it in our own vision. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, but you have to understand, I believe that they choose this uprising macam this 100,000 punya attack because they have exhausted all options tau. It's not like they can do this with 100,000 people. They can do this with 10,000 people. They can do this early on. So the reason why they can use 100,000 is because they waited that long. I'm pretty sure they wanted peaceful coexistence with the other code users, but because of the committee yang Hawks reporting in, they control the media, they control the law.
Basically, the whole school system, whole having to have a license, the agencies, all of this, to me, is broken. All of this is bullshit and broken. Yeah, that's why you have the gentleman burglar too. He fell through the cracks of the system, man.
Yeah, he wasn't bad at all.
Stain. Yeah. They are worthy heroes, tapi they fell through the cracks, so terpaksa jadi villain. That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, and Destro, he wanted to destroy the system. He doesn't want to destroy society at all. And he was in prison for that. The party got barred. But because of his ideals, it lived on past him. Because why? The ideal was worth fighting, worth remembering. That said, you see the picture on here. A lot of people say it's L for liberation, but we know what this is actually, right?
It's loser. We are the meta loser army.
Yeah. You can actually blame the Japanese for that lah. They're not that up to date with all the hand signs, gang signs.
Yeah, man. Tapi nak dekat loser dengan liberation.
I saw it in this episode and I laughed my ass off. Hail the Liberation Army!
And then everybody like, hail. Hopefully they come up with a better gang sign by like season 6, It's like
yeah, and to echo the other previous comments, right? I also do not believe that he is biologically Destro's son. Because of the nose, he looks more like the Penguin's son. He looks more like Igor from the Persona series.
Igor.
Yeah. Welcome to the Velvet Room.
Yeah. Or even the
Igor is the best lah.
Yang cerita villain dengan minions tu.
Yes, Gru. Bruce bastard.
This could be me.
Squeaky.
Yeah man, macam groove yang bastard tu.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So any more comments daripada korang?
Nick,
Yeah.
sorry aku nak tambah. And also Anri, if kalau kita cakap about the system itself, aku rasa One Punch Man punya licensing system to be hero is much more easier. Kau masuk exam, kau dapat daripada C class, you went through up. Senang gila. Tak payah pergi sekolah, tak pergi apa. Kau just ambil ujian fizikal, ujian tulis-bertulis. Tu dua je aku buat.
In my knowledge, right, anime yang touch on the superhero system kan, there's two, Tiger and Bunny, One Punch Man, or of course My Hero Academia. Tiger and Bunny was actually the first anime yang touch on the superhero scene business in terms of licensing and streamlining things as a legal entity. Dia sama dengan One Punch Man. There's only one organization responsible for the whole superhero thing, and there's only like one super agency. That's why you have a C class heroes, B class heroes. But My Hero Academia is like different agencies, license pun apa different, activity pun different. Ada yang patrolling, ada yang investigation, ada yang sea border patrol macam yang that filler episode.
Yeah.
It's too much. There's no real one governing body.
It's like the governmental oversight dah banyak sangat sampai dia jadi lame. Dia macam si petrol, lepas tu macam what? Jadi macam
it becomes so into everything and it becomes almost too powerful, and this is I think why there's a lot of people against it, which is why they have like 100,000 in Japan only. You have to understand, they said we published and sold 118 books. Out of 118,000 yang jadi member kita, 100,000 join and pledged to the cause. That's like 90% punya people who baca this kan, they took up arms. Wow, that's actually very pretty impressive.
And not just villains as we saw, also heroes man.
Heroes. They agree.
Yeah. Okay guys, so
aku nak tambah sikit ni. My personal opinion yang this symbol ni kan was a deliberate choice because it represents the L, and that the Metal Liberation Army ni actually consists of a lot of losers in terms of society. The ones who lost out not because they feel bad, but because they did not succeed under the superhero punya mindset. So that's why it was such a big deal. Kalau setakat slide and go mamat yang atas tu kan, dia orang tak kisah tau. But when Hawk joined them, it was a big deal because it means somebody from within the system at such a high level also believes in that. I mean, from their perspective lah, they did not know that Hawks is a double agent kan. Do you believe like this means that even at such a high level pun he truly believe that the system is not a fair and just system. So that's why this is indirectly L for Metal Liberation and also the losers in the system lah, kalau kita nak katakan.
Dia macam losers rise up. Okay guys, so dengan itu kita bakal membincangkan babak menarik kita yang kedua. Alright, so after that interesting punya Secret Origins flashback, we now begin dengan DEIKA City Ground Zero, di mana The League of Villains akhirnya sampai ke DEIKA City untuk bertemu Metal Liberation Army. So ada satu quote menarik daripada Hanabata, which is that specky guy yang mula-mula datang jumpa dia orang. This is DEIKA City. This is a liberated district where 90% of the population consists of dormant liberation warriors. ... Macam the whole city tu kerja dia orang ialah nak jadi, nak liberate themselves. So soalan aku kepada para panelis, apakah pendapat anda tentang percaturan RE-DESTRO tentang League of Villains tidak menguasai other fresh nomus after the high-end nomu attack on Endeavour? Was this a worthy gamble? Macam it's like kalau tiba-tiba dia bawa high-end nomu ke, which eventually they do have an ace up their sleeve. We know Gigantamekyo is going to come next episode and then beat the shit out of everybody. But yeah, was this it's a huge gamble. Apa pendapat korang tentang the gamble by RE-DESTRO? Silakan Shaz.
Well, kalau let's say there's 70 to 80%, 70 to 80,000 population kat situ, 90% of it is sufficient lah. Kalau let's say, kalau kita tengok the way that they want throw diorang punya followers macam mana nak kata anjing liar tak juga. Perangai macam anjing liar tu, it's just like you know, we just want to prove ourselves, do whatever we want. So there's enough bodies there that the entire League of Villains, no matter how strong they are, you cannot get through the low level punya warriors. So kalau you think about it, secara tak langsung Destro and his RE-DESTRO and the current Meta Liberation Army is actually mirroring the superhero punya society tau. There is still a class system. The people yang power kat atas, there are pengikut kat bawah, you know. So they are actually as villainous, or dia orang ni perangai sama je like the people they portray as villains from their point of view, which is the superhero punya society. So sebenarnya they are quite a hypocrite punya leadership lah.
Especially kalau kau tengok Curious yang bila dia lawan Toga, punya banyak sacrificial lambs. They are willing to destroy themselves, meletup-letup. Maka kimatnya Curious.
Sampai darah tu pun dia dah put dengan explosive punya timer. One timer lah. I tak tahu what's the trigger, but they only rela die for me, so I'm like let them die lah, you know. Just so that I can capture one person. So macam like
crazy man.
That's why aku tak percaya they are really for the people. They have a secondary hidden agenda kat belakang. It's itulah. It's a good strategy, but it's not a heroic or good team style punya strategy. You just throw people's lives macam tu.
It is called not a league but an army. So kau akan ada, you know, when you think of the army, kau ada orang yang flank, kau ada foot soldiers kat depan. Kerja foot soldiers memang untuk mati. Memang they are made to die. You know, nama foot soldiers kan.
The term of army is to manipulate the followers into thinking that they are pawns and they are like, you know, we are fighting for a greater cause. So if our death can, you know, push the agenda forward, why not? Tapi kalau dalam army, real army, they do not want to waste such resources so easily, especially kalau diorang ni ada kuasa-kuasa yang which are very strong, as we can see later on in the episode, but they just don't care. It's like these are all just sacrificial
infantrymen are meant to die. That's what infantry do, right?
Yeah. You watch the movie called Enemy at the Gates. You see how the Russian army operates. They use the first wave, just to get killed off, so that they know where the enemy infantry is located, where the artillery is, dia punya range apa, how effective it is, and then they send the second wave, which is bigger, and then try to punch holes in the defense, and then another wave. So that's how armies are fought. It's not about ideals. It's about results.
And it's about power, numbers.
Yeah.
Like I got 50,000 versus your 100,000. Let's see siapa lagi pandai strategi.
Yeah, like, because you have to understand the army is considered the especially infantry. They use sometimes the terms as fodder, and for that reason it's like that lah. So when they call themselves the Liberation Army, right? I didn't have a problem actually seeing the strategy being used because it's sound strategy. It looks crude, but it works. Yeah.
So Nazir, apa pendapat kau tentang, you know, League of Villains versus Meta Liberation Army? Macam cakap hello, lepas tu terus lempang macam hi. Macam
bila aku tengok scene ni kan, aku teringat satu ayat dalam X-Men 3. In chess, the pawns go first.
Yeah.
Kan, so macam kita tengok betapa gilanya Curious ni, sebab basically apa dia sentuh akan jadi the mind actually. So basically apa dia buat, dia macam clean up kan the loser tier level punya army just in order to beat Toga actually. So basically dia punya strategi dia memang extreme, but working actually is extreme. Tapi Toga dia weekend lah sebenarnya.
Betul.
So and then aku macam bapak this is the next level shit lah. And also it's kind of interesting macam the enemy tahu pasal Toga punya backstory, but dia masa lagi push dengan Toga, kenapa kau jadi macam ni? What trigger you to become a crazy girl actually? So aku macam okay, aku macam apa yang kau nak kira, engkau basically engkau tak cerita dengan kita orang audience what happened in the past actually. What happened during school, Toga ni asal dulu tak baik, macam mana dia berubah jadi jadi apa orang gila apa semua. But in the same time curious nak apa temu bual Toga.
Yes.
Aku macam
Sebenarnya
this is
itu adalah segmen seterusnya bro. Kita sekarang
sorry. Yeah,
kita
but
cerita
actually,
tentang
but actually if you're talking about Nomu, I think this is where each of them show their true skill lah. Show macam tanpa Nomu kita orang boleh tak ada hal lah.
It's quite a giant gamble though. It's quite a gamble.
Yeah,
Tiba-tiba Nomu datang
betul. Memang diorang punya stake gamble dia high gila sebab any of them can die very easily actually. Sebab diorang, but you know, just in order for to gain the army, they have in order for gigam macam tu to come, that is the only way.
Yeah.
Is kamikaze is extreme, but it's work.
Yes. Alright, seterusnya Anri, was it more fucked up in the manga? Or is this what was in the manga that we saw? With 116,000 just coming down the streets, just beating the shit out of League of Villains.
Okay, there's a big misunderstanding. There's not 100,000 people fighting in DEIKA City. There was the 90% of the population in DEIKA City yang lawan dengan the League of Villains. They mentioned earlier 100,000 across the country. DEIKA City, you heard in the city kan, you think it's 100,000 people, but you have to understand, in Japan, the term city kan is any place yang lebih pada 10,000 people tau. So at most the people are fighting is 9,000, which is actually still a lot of people lah.
Yeah.
9,000
versus 7 people. Yeah, I think there's still a lot of people, man.
There's still a lot of people. If you go to the west, right, you see macam Bloodhaven, right, or even Gotham kan, dia punya population per city is for Gotham is like 2-3 million or 500,000, something that area. Different cities have different rankings. DEIKA City is basically around 10,000 people minimum. Japan is a bit different. Macam like Kanto region, they have several cities and one broadcasting system covering the TVs or all that area. DEIKA City is just like that, one area yang covered like that. So that's like 10,000 to 15,000 people situated to fight off the League of Villains. Dia punya strategy that say that the League of Villains tak ada Nomu, right, is actually a sound deduction actually. Memang because they know from in the manga, right, they know that they have skirmishes with other groups and no Nomu has been deployed now.
Oh, this is the one that was not adapted, right? You were saying last week.
They were fighting for League of Villains, right? There are a lot of people yang tak nak follow, so they had to keep them in line, and they failed to do so. Yeah.
So in all those fights, tak ada Nomu, so that's why he made this deduction lah.
Yeah, that's why RE-DESTRO and dia punya orang kuncu-kuncu yang keep tabs on them, right?
Yeah.
They are aware of one for all. All for one, sorry. They are aware of one for all, which is why they don't cross blades with him. They may even take orders from him because he wants to destroy the system, just like Destro and RE-DESTRO punya ideas align. They don't actually want to canggah violently. So when they know that he's out of picture, masuk Tartarus, and dia punya air kan is having trouble keeping everything in line, and they were like infighting, breaking down, sampai tak ada duit, beli makanan, tukar pakaian. They found out that they maybe just tak ada Nomu. So why don't we take them out now if they don't join us? And from what I see, the strategy is like it's a sound strategy. They don't have a normal with them, or at least an army of normal with them, so we can handle it with like one city. 90% of the people are with us. We may suffer losses, but it's not a heavy loss. We may lose like 10%, 20% of our total fighting strength, but that's more than enough to actually do our big shape program at the end of these 4 months. So everything's green. Perfect.
Gila tu.
Yeah.
Gila babi.
It was a decisive, calculated decision.
Gamble, ya.
Yeah.
Any more comments before I read komen daripada penonton? Tak ada. Alright, so kita ada beberapa komen ya. Contohnya Amirul mengatakan tak cukup epic fighting scene. Rasa macam kurang something. Kau nak
Yes.
apa tu? Ada orang jatuh daripada langit, ada ais lawan dengan fire. Apa lagi yang kau nak siap?
I think
Macam-
I understand what he wanted. One of the problem with My Hero Academia versus macam some anime macam One Punch Man, right? They had a lot of fighting where they use still frames. Macam
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
they
okay.
wanted actual action movements. So I can understand that.
Maybe it's the
And-
problem on the studio end kan. Maybe the animators are not as adept like the one in One Punch Man season 1.
Yes, thank you for reminding me that. I think it's because of the movie. They place a lot of the budget for setting up for the movie. Good news, good news. The movie is doing very well. It exceeded the second movie.
Wow.
Bad news is if it's doing good now, they're probably doing it again in the future. So expect this to happen lah.
Ya, kata nak 10 movie kan, baru 3.
10 movie.
Ada 7 lagi.
Lagi 7 ada, jangan risau. Lagi 7 ada.
7 more to go.
Aduh, bang.
Seven.
But yeah,
Seven more to go.
7 more.
But yeah, actually aku faham Amirul maksudnya kenapa tak cukup epic sebab aku perasan dalam ni diorang banyak bagi share screen time tau yang equal, kecuali Toga lah. Toga dapat special treatment episod ni. But kalau kau tengok Twice, kalau kau tengok semua villain semua dapat sama rata.
Yes, Dabi pun
Yeah.
dapat. Ya, itulah. It's quite
Dabi
interesting.
dapat, basically both of them dapat lah. But Toga is a different story lah.
Yes, he was the
I
focus.
rasa macam dia tak cukup epic tu is because a lot of the fights selain Toga, actually this is the setup punya episode. The next episode is where the epic part will come in. So this episode is more kepada Toga punya backstory. That's why all the fighting is on her side alone. The rest tu macam like, okay guys, kita nak tumbuk lah.
So
Boleh tumbuk tak? Belum? Sama-sama. Next episode. So after this kita akan nampak.
Ya.
So kira sedang cerita episod ni episod apa, kira apa, panaskan enjin dia lalu.
Panaskan engine, but I felt like it was packed enough, man. After like 5 episode of
Right.
Endeavour, this is
Yeah.
way better than anything in the Endeavour agency arc.
Yes.
Itu jangan cakap lah.
Itu lah kan.
Filler all the way, man.
Yeah. Amirul
Yes.
menambah.
Let us enjoy watching the person driving the car from the highway.
Apabila orang menekan minyak, itulah bahagian menggunakan kuasa anda in the background. Like what the
My
fuck?
God.
Biar dengan kelas kena balance aku macam babi betul kau
Apa
jadi
yang
macam
kau
mana dua.
Endeavour, kau melalut lah babi. Anyway, yes, this episode is way better than that episode. So Amirul menambah, dah level kamikaze dah ni. No wonder lah, hebat Liberation. Yes,
Ya.
9,000 orang lawan 7. Memang kalah lah. So seterusnya, Caleb Paul mengatakan hero versus villains. Yes. Then Katerina the Great mengatakan, ini memang barbaric, lawan hero ke apa. Inilah namanya army bro. Army lawan dengan Liga. Jauh lah Liga. You know. Kemudian Amar, tak sabar nak tunggu Spider-Man muncul. Okay. Ada Mephisto. Kemudian kategori mengatakan Shigaraki lagi kuat kan. Nanti kita tengok lah next week. Kita tengok macam mana Shigaraki pula. So dengan itu kita akan membincangkan the main focus minggu ini, iaitu Curious versus Toga. So, babak menarik kita yang ketiga adalah di mana asal-usul Himiko Toga didedahkan. And I think this is my favorite quote lah. Dia kata, just to live a normal life. I will live and die normally. I want to become more like what I love. Aku macam, sedih weh. I didn't expect this from Himiko Toga, okay? So, soalan aku kepada para panelis. Apakah pendapat anda tentang tragic backstory Toga yang didedahkan di dalam episod ini? Adakah anda memahami motivasi villain ini dengan lebih lanjut sekarang? So, kita mulakan dengan Shaz. Silakan Shaz.
Dia punya the revelation was quite a surprise lah, sebab kalau you tengok dari segi the anime punya character progress, she has always been macam like a psycho who's always like after blood and so on. So it was either the definition or the concept of psycho punya people ni kan is quite difficult because you tak tahu what started it all, what triggered it all. So dalam her case, it was something that she could not control. See, dia punya the thirst for blood is close to a vampire punya thirst of blood, which was derived from her ability to use the blood for her own power. So at what point did that happen? Parents dia pula jenis yang tak ada duit ke, tak ada nak sorok malu ke, you know, why can't you be normal? There is usually a group of people who are very kaya ataupun orang yang ada pangkat, ada nama kan, tiba-tiba ada anak hantu pangai tak senonoh ni kan. Why do you not, you know, bring it to bigger punya platform, discuss with proper psychology doctors, discuss dengan heroes yang lain macam mana, because I think this was at that point of time, it was still possible to save her. You see, that means nak kata macam mana, it does not become an obsession. You begin to learn how to control yourself.
Yeah, I mean like it can become like science to wean you off the blood addiction. Contohnya macam Morbius, the Spider-Man villain, he is a scientist himself and he conducts all these experiments to try and stop the he has a penyakit yang akan menyebabkan dia eventually, you know, mati. So that's how he eventually becomes a vampire, pasal he puts blood into himself. But yeah, I understand. Using psychology, using science, and I'm sure Himiko Toga could have been cured ataupun can exist in normal society.
Correct. I mean, you may not be able to stave off dia punya blood, but the blood thirst, blood thirst is not a good name because blood thirst refers kepada orang yang suka bergaduh, berperang and all that. But it's more like her craving for blood can be managed.
Her addiction.
So macam like you could like, you know, just take proper beef and so on and just take the blood from there. So you take it in a safe and society approved punya manner. So dia bila it was left alone, you know, and then dia, aku rasa lah, this is where the real tragedy is lah. Dia punya sense of kasih sayang was not given to her properly tau. Because dah lah she look like a freak kan, macam like stereotypical orang gila mata sepet, you know.
Dengan
kan?
taring dia, dengan taring dia.
Itu like kenapa kau tak normal? So I don't think she got the love that she wanted. So somehow kan the desire and craving for affection and love tercampur dengan the thirst for blood.
Yeah.
So it became something that merged tau and became her core
Solid.
personality.
Yeah.
So again, is it a tragedy? Yes. It could have been, you know, something that could have been prevented from her becoming the tragic person that she is right now. But in the end, itulah, kita boleh cuma speculate je lah. Because based on what we've seen, tak banyak sangat information. Yes, we get the bits and pieces, but maybe also that after psychology punya treatment, psychotherapy and so on, still tak berubah, then it's quite hard to sympathize with her jugalah kalau macam tu.
I think the most tragic one is masa dia budak kecil, lepas tu dia pegang burung tu, lepas tu dia gigit, dia macam sedapnya. Aku rasa macam sedih je. Sedih je sini siap.
Because to her,
It's normal. It's normal.
It's normal to her because her craving for blood and for affection is how she shows affection. You know, I share your blood. That's the closest I can get to you.
Yeah. Tapi mak dia macam, kenapa kau macam ni? Kenapa kau tak boleh normal? Aku macam, ui gila lah parents dia. Gila tu. So Nazir, apakah pendapat kau masa dia minum darah Ochako, lambungkan 100 orang, lepas tu jatuhkan 100 orang? Aku macam, weh what the fuck, weh, R-rated gila ke? Aku tengah tengok dia.
The thing is, aku tak perasan lah before this dia boleh dapat kuasa yang dia minum darah tu juga. Aku tak perasan tau.
I think
But
Beta City pushes them to the next level. Nearly everybody. Dabi punya fire lagi terror. It's like flight or fight. So dia macam they choose to fight. So
flight or fight situation kan. Aku the thing with Toga ni, aku rasa kalau kita nak blame society among Toga sebenarnya lah. I mean setiap sekolah pun kau nampak dia pakai mask in order to sesuaikan diri. Basically orang sekeliling dia macam tak terima diri yang sebenar tau. That's why he create his own her own mask in order to adapt to the situation. And even mak dia pun cakap, anak aku ni jelmaan syaitan in bahasa Malaysia punya subtitle. She's the devil reincarnate. Mak sendiri dah cakap macam tu. Basically how fuck up her life actually. Sebab basically kalau kita dari kecil, dia hanya nak affection, attention, basically itu je dia nak. Tak nak apa pun. Tapi macam family dia expect dia, kenapa kau tak become normal? And until now, Toga still searching, what is normal? Sebab no one yang tunjuk dia, okay, the normal like this, no one. Even sen dia lain dari rumah, dia join the League of Villain, no one ever show what it mean by normal. Toga dia hanya ikut saja apa yang bagi dia macam nampak macam sesuai untuk dia. Dia just go for it. So basically it's a sedih kan dia punya story. But aku sedih, kesian in the same time lah. So for her the only way dia to gain the normal, to be in love with Deku basically. So maybe only Deku can guide. But aku tak tahu Deku punya tolak macam mana. But you know, dia Deku Toga Deku Ochako cinta tiga segi kan.
Aku rasa lepas episod ni aku ship Toga and Deku tu.
Yes.
Toga Chako Deku. Maksudnya kejap dia jadi Ochako supaya Deku steam sekejap, lepas tu dia jadi Toga balik. Lepas tu Deku macam, aku tengah main dengan siapa ni? Tidak.
That's Tristan gonna be interesting.
Okay, so Anri, is this anything like it was in the manga? Did they leave anything out?
Yeah, I think this fight happens just like in the manga, or at least it follows through just like the manga. What happened to Toga is actually a tragedy. She's a victim of the whole situation. She didn't wanted to be like this tau. When she was the time dia isap darah the burung, right? You have to understand burung tu burung apa? Burung pipit. Do you know how big a pipit is? It's not very big. I think she's like 4 years old at most. And then bila dia hisap darah for the first time, say, oh, the bird is cute. His blood tastes delicious. Tunjuk kat mak dia. And then for some reason mak dia tampar tangan dia. The burung tu dah mati. Sebelum tu mungkin dia kering, just nak take a nap, something kan. And then the baru terus, and then the poor bird hits the head, dies on the ground. And then mak dia habak dia, you're the devil, the demon. And then from then on, that day on, she tried to put on a mask, try to conform to society until she met with Sato, the boy yang dia serang. Because the boy yang dia serang tu kan, Sato, is the boy that she likes. And you see the scene, right? Sato lawan was covered in blood. That part kan, dia tak tahan. Because all this while kan, since that day kan, dia tak minum darah lagi kan. She saw the person that she liked, thinks the cutest, minum darah, she attacks him unknowingly. Because it's not a decision, it's like macam pent up. She's like a vampire. I haven't taken blood for like 12-15 years. I'm very hungry, I cannot be controlled, and I attacked the boy. The boy himself was okay. Dia pun cakap kan, I was surprised by it. but I wasn't injured or dead. I was just surprised.
Wow.
Because they kata Toga was a very nice girl. She was well behaved, quiet, cute. She was the average girl. But when she attacked, people saw her for what she is and deemed her a monster. Bapak dia pun dah macam potong hubungan dia. She ran away from home at 17 and started fighting and killing people for their blood. She had nothing left to turn to but a life of, on the run.
Yes.
It's tragic.
It's a
Yeah.
very dark backstory.
Yeah, so when the thing satu dah berlaku, she saw Deku, who looks like the boy that she first liked, except he has green hair. And he was actually always injured, always bloody. And when she fought with him for the first time, you know what happened? He didn't actually call her an evil villain. She just was surprised, let him even take some of the blood. Oh, he doesn't find me repulsive. From that day on, she would follow Deku like an addict to addiction lah. Deku-chan, I love you so much. I love every people around you. Ochako, Suyu, I will suck your blood and their blood friends. I love you so much.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So, it kind of reminds me of the twisted relationship that Harley Quinn has with Joker. Tapi this time around, she is the aggressor. She's not the victim. It's like Deku is like, hey, kau mahal.
We see from that day on, she didn't actually attack people for her own her own agenda. She attacked because she feels she needs to attack. Macam for survival, like this one.
Oh, okay.
She didn't kill or attack people without no purpose. If she does this, you will find macam news reports that Toga Himiko killed kids because then easy target.
Yeah. Like a serial killer. Yeah.
Rob a store and take the money and the blood. But you never saw this. Even when the All for One kena tangkap she was actually hungry and wearing old clothes daripada serang the public and take the money from them. She had a principle just like Spinner. We're not doing this for money. We're doing this for a better tomorrow for all of us, myself included, because I want to be able to be expressing myself. I want to drink blood because this is what my quirk does to me. I'm a vampire.
Yeah.
Or vampire type quirk.
Yeah.
I take their blood, I take their powers, and even without sucking blood, look at my fighting skill. I will move fast, macam blade on steroids.
Yeah. Betul. Shaz, you were saying?
I saw that quote you mentioned daripada siapa tadi? You shared this one. So okay, yang this portion aku rasa the boy yang dia drink blood yang ada involved in a fight and then dia punya blood come out. Dia tak bunuh tau that kid. But she was crying because there was a tears of joy because now this person that I like is sharing the blood with me, kind of thing. That's why how much closer can you get than drinking blood of the person that you like?
Dia dah macam SMM sadomasochism, man. This is like aku villain tapi aku sadomasochist. Macam
I mean that is Toga punya mindset. So when the kid punya blood dah mengalir, she cannot control herself already. I can now finally show my truest love to this kid, which is taking his blood.
By sucking balik.
Aku rasa honestly burung tu yang that burung tu it's not a random bird tau, it's their pet tau.
Oh my god.
That was their pet. That's why the bird tak lari masa dia pegang.
Maybe.
Dia biasa dah. So macam like that is when the intention and desire, like this is how I share my love. Mungkin tuan-tuan dia tengok cerita vampire 1960s ke apa kan. Kan the Dracula gigit the girl pun relax je, tak masalah kan. So macam like, oh macam ni ke? Dan aku pun ada tarik, aku pun
wow. Psycho tu.
Yeah, I think that's the thing lah. It was something that she did not understand, sama macam Shigaraki when they were growing up, they couldn't control it, and then after that it became they become itulah outcast of society lah because of this. I truly believe that bird was their pet. It wasn't like random bird dia ambil daripada kat rumah dia mana ke. Itu yang the parents punya shock.
That's fucked up, man.
Okay, anything else before I read the comment from the penonton? Tak ada lah. Alright, so komen pertama adalah daripada kategori The Great. Dia mengatakan rasa dia dalam manga Toga ni in love dengan Deku more, tapi dalam anime macam downgrade sikit Toga love Deku. Macam tak rasa sangat. Kenapa? Is it because there's not enough time to explore this more?
Probably the animators are pro Ochako Deku, which I disagree. Don't force this to canon, okay? Don't force me. Deku, I prefer ship dengan Toga. I prefer ship dengan Momo. I prefer ship dengan Suyu. I prefer ship dengan Mitsuki, Mak Bakugo. Then Ochako.
The thing is, Toga can be all of them. Toga just need their blood.
Exactly. Don't forget Kami. And that girl from Mei. Yang Mei Haruni, apa nama dia?
She can be all of them.
All of them.
Super. Itu kan. So seterusnya Ahmad MD mengatakan I ship Toga and Dabi. Oh gila lah, Toga and Dabi, what the hell. Tak apa.
Patut Toga dengan Twice lah.
Toga dengan Twice ya. Itu pun.
I ship Dabi dengan anti-burn lotion lah.
Dabi dengan anti-burn lotion. Okay, seterusnya kategori menambah Uraraka code is killing machine. Yes. Bila kau tengok Toga gunakan kuasa Uraraka like 100 orang terbang jatuh sekarang. Betul kau macam fuck man. Aku tak pernah tengok Uraraka guna macam ni sial. That's how you use your power man. Yeah.
Toga has never used any of the people that she take the blood punya powers This was the first time.
Yes, curious cakap, I thought you could not manifest their powers. I thought you can just physically look at them. So.
She pernah Kami during the training the tournament arc.
Oh yeah.
But that's because dia ambil Kami and Ochako punya blood.
Yeah, but she got Kami punya shape-shifting powers. She had to be naked kan at the time kan.
She did. Shaz, tak ingat?
Nah, because bila dia cakap naked tu kepala aku dah melayang lah.
Sebab I think
then most likely then there is the ni lah. Most likely sebab dia tak tahu lah.
Maybe I think I confusing sebab Kami also shape shifting, Toga also boleh shape shifting.
Bila dia telan darah tu dia boleh dia jadi an extra layer of skin, dia jadi Uraraka. Okay, so next comment daripada Anas Zainal mengatakan awakening quirk. Yes, I guess this is the fight or flight lah. The one where when you are forced to fight, kau jadi level up, next level shit man. Kemudian Izwan mengatakan bila kuasa Uraraka dapat dekat Toga nampak power. Tapi Uraraka apa? That's why bila orang yang berhati baik, bersangka baik ni, dia guna kuasa dia macam aku bagi orang melayang. Sedangkan Toga is like aku nak kena survive, mati berkimak. Wah, macam tu terus. Wah, hancur.
And also kalau aku perasan the montage dalam beza Uraraka dengan Toga punya how they handling the power. Kalau kau tengok basic Uraraka semua slow and steady tau. Basically macam bila terapa pun semua slow. Bila jatuh pun slow. Tapi bila part Toga laju gila babi. Naik pun laju.
Semua orang lemah.
Fast and steady kot.
I think it's because Toga doesn't give a fuck about other people when she's fighting.
Safety. Yeah.
You're trying to kill me, so I kill you.
Yeah. It's kill or be killed. Yeah, that was the moment.
Betul.
True.
True.
Kemudian Amirul mengatakan Deku Tok no Jutsu.
Yes, Deku Tok no Jutsu gonna work. Kalau Deku Tok no Jutsu also work pada
Toga.
Shoto, apatah lagi
Yeah.
pada Toga.
Betul? Betul.
Remember?
Yes, man. Kemudian dia mengingatkan semua orang kepada #caving.
Wow.
Daripada What If hari Jumaat lepas datang ke sini ya.
Tak lepas.
Kemudian Ultra One pun datang menyampuk. Apa telah terjadi? Kenapa tukar daripada My Hero Academia jadi My Villain Academia? Selamat yang mereka. Selamat yang
Shalom.
Kemudian dia terkejut. Burung hisap darah, caving. Terus dia datang.
Yes.
Bila dia cakap, dia ada macam bad signal tau. Caving? Ada orang cakap pasal caving. Wrong channel bro. Hari Jumaat. Itu cerita malam Jumaat. Kemudian Amirul menambah Romeo dan Juliet, tapi Romeo mati dulu, Juliet happily ever after. Okay.
Juliet Beach.
Agak kriptik. Kemudian dia terus cakap Deku Caving Toga. Okay. Kemudian yes, maybe Toga tengok cerita Raja Bersiung sebab tu dia jadi macam vampire macam tu. And Hakim Ashraf mengatakan, saya ship Mak Bakugo dengan Deku. Sama lah kau dengan Anri, samalah.
Yeah, I think both he and I dah tengok the doujinshis on certain site.
Oh, now we talking.
Oh my, I don't know what that is.
Man of culture. Man of culture.
PM Link.
PM Link Okay guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita akan ke babak menarik kita yang keempat. Babak menarik kita yang keempat adalah DEIKA City, Dabi versus Geten. Mamat yang tidak dinamakan ni sampai aku kena Google untuk dapat nama dia. The whole episode tak ada nama dia. Aku macam siapa tu kibat ni? Yang macam Eskimo ni. So anyway, segmen ini adalah di mana Dabi bertembung dengan metahuman bernama Geten yang mempunyai total control over ice. So Geten mengatakan, it looks like you don't know, so I'll tell you. I control ice. I've been training my meta ability for as long as I can remember. Not even going to school. Training much longer than any hero. The Grand Commander made me strong. Don't think ice will melt with those superficial flames. Macam dia kena cakap, oh aku tak pergi sekolah bro. Aku belajar all day long. Kuasa aku ni.
Tak. Yang best kan apa, Dabi reply, orang pergi sekolah jadi pandai, kau jadi bodoh. Aku macam bodoh lah. Memang apa, Dabi reply punya benten sial kot. But it's pretty funny actually. It
is. So soalan kepada para panelis, pada pendapat anda, adakah Dabi akan berjaya menupaskan Geten yang menguasai ice sepenuhnya minggu depan? This is more spekulasi lah. So kita mulakan dengan Shaz. Silakan Shaz.
Kan this is flashback. So aku rasa memang confirm dia akan menang lah. And kalau kita tengok dari segi pattern, this is all the league villain punya awakening tau. Where they show the next tier of power that they have developed. Firstly sebab dia orang selalu lawan dengan Giganto Makia tu. So Giganto Makia tu tak peduli ke tu. Dia punch to kill ke tu. Dia tunjuk the body double tu kan. Kau lembab. Dia memang betul-betul smash to kill tau. Because that thing you can see the shatter. Dia punya the body double pecah. So aku rasa what is going to happen is Dabi will go up to the next level and I think he has seen a stronger power lah dari segi ice. Sebab Mamat Geten ni aku tengok dia boleh control ice, dia manipulate ice dari luar. Dia bukan generate ice macam Todoroki punya family members tu. So kalau kita ikut teori liar, Dabi ni ada kaitan dengan Todoroki punya family, and then dia pernah tengok ice that is far stronger than that. Setakat Mamat yang ambil ice dari luar ni like kau berambus lah. I've seen stronger ice than this. Sebab antara quote users pun dia ada kategori-kategori in terms of strength. Macam kita tengok previous episode All for One, dia kata aku ada ambil so many of this multiplication power lah, enhancement power lah. So even then pun he can take a few and combine it. So setakat mamat yang duk gerak-gerak ais ni macam, ingat tak awal-awal tu kan ada mamat yang gerak kaca tu kan, orang tua tu kan. Ya, aku boleh gerakkan kaca semua ni kan. So I have a feeling once he melts everything within the certain radius tu, there's no more ice. Mamat ni kalah macam tu je. Kalau you tengok, dia kena pakai Eskimo punya suit. So aku rasa memang dia tak boleh nak tahan. He cannot generate the ice. Dia
He can
sejuk
manipulate
sebenarnya.
ice, tapi dia tengah sejuk gila.
Dia sejuk ni kenapa? So yeah, that's why mungkin dia tengok mamat Dabi ni, api dia besar. Okay lah, aku boleh keluarkan naga besar sebab aku tak sejuk. I'm fighting a fire user, so I would not be so sejuk. Aku punya speculation is that, ingat tak dia mention dalam that fight, you are the only, area of attack, area of effect punya type fighter kan. So, most likely Dabi will show focus tu punya power, macam Bakugo punya AP shot, dia tembak beam ke apa ke. So that will really surprise him lah. Tiba-tiba keluar Hadouken kecil ke apa ke. That will really turn the tide. That will be the awakening lah. Or Dabi punya next level that dia tak pernah tunjuk.
Nice. Nazri, apakah harapan kau untuk minggu depan? Geten versus Dabi. Silakan.
Okay, aku agree dengan Syaz. Aku rasa Dabi akan show way more powerful flame. Maybe kita akan nampak the first ever yellow flame from Dabi bertangan. Who knows, right? Mana tahu kan siapa dia goes to the higher level, blue change into yellow. Basically we know the yellow is a diesel flame, which is flammable dia memang bapak panas gila babi. So tantang Geten pun akan rentung aku rasa. Sebab basically macam bila part the pack ice keluar daripada kedai aku dah macam apa benda sial kuasa kau. Aku okay mamak ni boleh generate ice ke? Power gila rupa-rupanya. Babi kau kalau ice je ke? Bapak useless kuasa kau. So I think so for me for sure untuk next episode Dabi akan beat the hell out this Geten guy. Basically this is a very non-important character tau. Okay, I might be wrong. Aku rasa this is the only moment kita akan nampak dalam Winner Hero Academia. And after that we won't see of him anymore. I mean dia punya belagak depan Dabi relax je, Dabi cool tapi Geten ni dia nak bakar Dabi. Satu perangai Dabi. Dia ada baran tau. Dia ada baran. Dia kata makin kau api aku lagi aku jadi menggila. Betul. So of course apa we're gonna see much more higher power dengan Dabi ni. And sebab so far aku rasa ever since season 2 punya pergerakan kita belum nampak lagi Dabi goes full power tau. So far dia either lower tier ataupun mid tier dia nak lawan. Tapi bila dia nak betul-betul full power belum lagi. Belum nak level super saiyan tu belum nampak lagi. So hoping that next episode dia go super saiyan lah. First super saiyan pun tak apalah. Nice.
Anri, silakan. Is Geten just talking a lot of shit and did they miss anything from the manga? Silakan.
I know how this fight is going to end. A lot of you have called it out correctly. I don't know what to say lah. I mean, you have Dabi which is using blue flame, which is actually much stronger than the regular flame colored, because we all know from science blue is hotter than orange flames. And then he's fighting with this guy who looks like who can just throw ice cubes and ice packs at you. So I think it's pretty one-sided match lah. I mean, he cannot even create his own ice can. So I don't know what to tell you lah.
He made a dragon ice, bro, using all the ice packs, bro. Okay.
Then tell him to watch Bleach because it has been done by Hisugaya from that anime.
They copy paste je. They copy paste. I saw it in
copy-paste.
English last week, so I'm
Yeah.
like, nah. It's like
You skip school for 15 years to learn ice sculpting with your powers. Okay.
ice sculpting sedih.
Uh, yeah. I don't. Okay. Initially, when I saw this, I know he's not going to win because I don't even remember his name. If you tak search his name kan, we probably won't be bothered with it.
Yeah, we will just call him X. Aku punya placeholder name was X.
No, we'll call him
Loser.
Yes.
whatever lah. Respect.
Yeah.
What? Press F for respect.
So respect. Okay guys, so dengan itu kita akan ke babak menarik kita yang terakhir. So, babak menarik kita yang terakhir adalah DEIKA City, League in Trouble, di mana ahli League of Villains seperti Shigaraki, Toga, Twice dan Dabi kelihatan mula diambang, tumbang satu persatu kepada pelan terkutuk Metal Liberation Army. Especially the final quote daripada Skeptic, Mamat yang selama ni dengan rambut tu yang pegang komputer, akhirnya kita tahu nama dia Skeptic. With your power, Twice, no matter what happens to RE-DESTRO, we can bring him back. We will not repeat the tragedy of Destro. So dia mencemuh lah, cakap Twice punya power ni wasted on seorang yang gila when actually it can be used for something greater. So soalan aku kepada para panelis, apakah pendapat anda tentang plan hanat Metal Liberation Army yang mahu recruit only the best League of Villain members, contohnya Toga dan Twice, one by one for their greater purpose? Adakah ahli-ahli League of Villains yang lain akan terkorban di tangan MLA? Even though I know this is a flashback and then eventually they're all in a meeting, but their initial plan macam fuck the rest, we just want Twice, we just want Toga, Shigaraki is a snot-nosed boy. So apa pendapat kau Shaz with their initial plan going in, you know?
I rasa dia orang memang tak nak recruit pun.
Then how did they end up working together? Like I cannot brain lepas ni macam okay guys, kita tak payah gaduh lah, rupanya korang sama terror ke macam mana?
We can consider that trying to capture those two specifically, Twice dengan Toga, as part of dia punya okay, yang lain mati pun tak apa, we still got enough fighters. But throughout the fight they have made themselves they have this I forgot the word. They have established that they are capable fighters by taking out so many of the opponents, and most likely the turning point is when Giganto Makia arrives. They start fighting everywhere, and the League of Villains bring it down. Because kita jangan lupa Shigaraki punya power also went up during this episode. When dia dah tak payah nak sentuh tau.
He just touched one person and then the rest went gila tu.
Whether it's an awakening or is something that he always had but tak pernah buat because he was trained or limited in power.
He was never pushed to the point, right?
Because dia selalu tak pernah lawan properly kan. He's always asyik-asyik lala kena tumbuk, kena tergajang and whatnot. So
duduk kat belakang. I just realised both groups kan, seorang macam ni, seorang dengan tangan, seorang lagi dengan macam ni.
Kan?
Semua pun ada tangan kat kepala kan. So, macam
aku rasa mungkin RE-DESTRO mungkin dia selalu dengan anak dia kan. Kau ni tapi dia tak tahu kan ada anak kan.
Dia tak tahu.
Dia was a story anyway lah. Mungkin itulah, mungkin mak dia selalu kau ni loser. So dia ingat mak aku sayang aku mak aku sayang aku.
Love.
The air is
pergi sekolah kena tergajang. Kenapa? Ini loser lah, bukan mak aku sayang kau.
What the hell? Okay, Nazir, apakah pendapat kau? Why did they eventually like sekarang plan dia was like kita nak Toga je, kita nak Twice je, but tiba-tiba bila meeting semua orang ada. You know, bila meeting dengan Hawks in present time lah semua orang ada. So what changed?
Well, aku rasa the initial plan RE-DESTRO memang dia nak ambil yang macam the best and yang boleh kawal tau bagi diorang. Macam diorang tahu kalau kalau Dabi dengan Shigaraki join, dua ni memang bijak pandai, it's gonna be a trouble for the Liberation Army untuk punya agenda. So that's why macam dia tahu Toga hanya akan dengar cakap, dan Twice pula ada masalah dengan dia punya personality. So that's why these two like the most strongest. Like strong. They're strong, but also mentally vulnerable.
Ada potensi untuk
dibasuhkan. And of course kita dapat tengok like how Twice punya bayang-bayang, like banyak dia punya klon-klon dia nak beat him juga. So aku harap maybe in the next episode we can see Twice stand up for himself. Maybe like, you know, he truly control his true self. Who knows, sebab Twice is very cool. Dia sangat bagus actually. It's very potential food. Tapi sayang, masa first dia buat, eventually dia punya clone dia kill each other. So aku harap maybe dengan pakai emas tu sambil dia buat multiplication, he's in the same side actually. Sebab macam previous episode pun dia kata dengan pakai topeng saja yang buat aku rasa macam aku tenang. Kalau aku tak pakai, aku rasa aku jadi gila. Sebab if I not mistaken, kita jarang kot nampak Twice pakai kuasa dia. I mean all this while kita yang nampak Twice saja berlari, berlompat. Have you ever
macam orang gila?
Cakap macam dia pun cakap dalam komik, macam dua bubble. Tapi macam apa, different font dengan warna tau. So macam bila aku rasa macam for the whole season aku macam tak pernah nampak Twice punya pakai kuasa, kecuali dalam backstory punya origin. Itu yang aku tahu. But kalau nak tengok dia pakai kuasa, aku rasa macam we never really see, right? We never really kan. So
all those clones yang pecah-pecah masa Gigantomachia tumbuk and all that, those are dia punya power. But he doesn't use it offensively anymore. Dia macam like decoy saja.
For him to larikan diri. Okay.
So aku rasa dia punya highest level is that he can create a full copy of himself. That can
also
think
think
for itself. Yes.
Actually,
as opposed to a puppet tau. So when he made multiple copies of that, everybody started thinking, akulah the real
copy.
So that's
why you're doing this.
Ikan tak ada like visible yang ada the Mohd twins tu. It's like you're the clone. No, you're the clone. So Anri, are we missing anything in this Twice storyline? And is Twice actually the mangaka's version of Jamie Maddox's Multiple Man from X Factor?
He's the parody of the Multiple Man. He's the parody of even Deadpool, because he has gone crazy
and talking to himself.
Because you have to understand the main reason why he wants to close the punya face, right? He doesn't want to see the cause of his suffering. This is the face of the punya killer. You have to understand, he's not even sure that he is the real Twice, the original Twice. And maybe he's right. Maybe that's not the original Twice. There were a lot of killings during the clone now. So the person who was left standing is the Twice. And there's no guarantee that the original Twice is the strongest. So
wow. It's so dark, man.
Yeah, it's pretty dark. So if he's not the real original Twice and it's actually a copy of the clone, that means that the existing Twice is actually the exact carbon copy of the original one. So he can make a lot of original stuff without any flaws. And that is a scary thought now. If he can manipulate this to RE-DESTRO punya agenda, right? RE-DESTRO can live on forever. And Toga akan he has the copy to mimic other person's power dengan dia punya blood tu kan. Maybe they can utilize it somewhere and make it usable for other users. Potential is high. But as for the question is, why do they come together in the end? I'm not going to spoil, but some serious stuff is going to happen between the two parties at the later end of the fight lah. It will actually establish the bridge on the punya reconciliation.
Working terms ataupun the working relationship.
Yeah, you'll see why you see the terms established, the reasoning and all. Yeah.
By the way, dalam X Factor, Jamie Maddox can actually reclaim his
Claim,
clone.
yes.
So his clone can give memories back to him. So it's like, I think in one storyline, one became a private investigator in Hawaii for years and then came back to him, and then he has memories being a private investigator in Hawaii. So can Twice do the same? Because they are all individual beings that dia jadi gila, so he has to kill them. So
I can't actually remember tau. I don't even know if they can actually sambung balik tau.
okay.
Twice is not one of my favorite characters, but he is certainly interesting. Reason why I don't think maybe they cannot do that. Maybe that's why they're killing off each other. Because maybe they know kan, if you bila dah kumpul balik kan, I'm dead, but the other Twice will be alive. I don't know about my memories, but I'm for sure think I won't exist anymore. So that's why they were fighting. That's why Twice doesn't risk using these powers all the time. Maybe that's because there's a drawback. You got two separate entities thinking for themselves instead of the primary punya body. It's gonna be trouble in the end of the line.
Yeah, macam Jamie Madrox has a prime version, and then the rest can go lead their own lives, and then can come back to him. So I think that is what keeps him sane compared to Twice ni yang I'm the clone. No, you're the clone.
Because they have the prime knowledge that the prime is going to exist. We will exist through him, but I don't think it's the same for Twice. We will not exist anymore. That's why I want to be the prime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's also a possibility lah. There's also a possibility that the Twice that we see could actually be the original guy, and one more of his clones he tried to reabsorb, but the reabsorption failed. So that's why when the reabsorption failed, he had to kill everybody else, and that's why dia selalu macam bleh. So that one kita tak tahu lah. We don't have any no evidence on anime to show otherwise. But when you mention character Maddox, aku tak ingat where I saw it before. It's a different anime or manga. Ada somebody dia split and he lived 100 lives, and he got back like 99 of them. Cuma dia tinggal satu orang je. So he has like all kinds of skill. He has lived as a farmer, as a scientist lah, as this, as that. Cuma ada one guy yang tak nak recombine with him. Totally tak ingat. You guys ingat tak? Doesn't ring a bell kan? But I'm pretty sure it wasn't American punya comics, because Jamie Maddox tu aku tak charm sangat dia punya name. But this was it's probably a Japanese punya show lah. Cuma masalahnya aku tak ingat dari mana.
Aku tak sure what your reference is to, tapi aku cuba share. This is a page from X Factor showing the power of Jamie Maddox. Nanti sekejap aku cuba. I'm trying to find that tab. Give me a minute. Okay, kalau korang boleh tengok. So it says here, as fractured and hard to reason with as my dupes have been lately, for something like this, for someone like Teresa, beaten within an inch of her life, we can all agree that at the very least, a warning must be meted out. Violence against one of our own gives us unity of mind. So macam, each of them has a different personality, but they can all agree on things because the prime controls the rest. So macam fucked up gila tu. He can multiply himself, and then they can all have different personalities. So it's one potential lah. But I guess Twice is a different version lah, tak macam yang Jamie Madrox ni. So yeah. So anyway, kita akan bincangkan harapan kami bagi episod minggu depan, and aku rasa ada kaitan dengan Twice. So judul episod minggu depan adalah Sad Man's Parade. And I think it will continue the skeptic talking about, oh, we should be taking over you because you don't know how to use your powers Twice. So apakah harapan korang bagi episod minggu depan? Sad Man's Parade, will that be more of a tragic backstory tentang Twice? Apakah spekulasi anda? Silakan.
I think since we already see the backstory of Twice, I don't think it will be that much. Cuma I think dia akan lebih pada present time, like how Twice able to overcome yang dia takut pada clone dia, and how dia kawal kuasa dia maybe. And also we might see other villain punya backstory, but of course Shigaraki will be the mostly important, sebab aku rasa tadi kita tak cakap pasal Shigaraki punya backstory, macam mana Nana pegang dia, Nana cakap something yang that thing I think is a very pinnacle.
Pendek sangat. Pendek sangat. Dia macam aku tengah ting-tong, aku bunuh 50 orang. Lepas tu tiba-tiba Nana. Lepas tu habis. Macam pendek sangat.
Ya, betul. So aku harap, aku rasa it's gonna be more for the memory of Shigaraki. Maybe dia akan tengok lebih dia dengan Nana. And also I think Dabi also we gonna see something lah from Dabi. You know, maybe it's time.
Hopefully. Dan Shaz, I think Anas menjawab, One Punch Man punya villain ada juga 100 clone, tapi tak ingat pula dia hidup 100 different lives. Maybe that's the one you're thinking about? One Punch Man?
It wasn't One Punch Man. It was some other
okay.
chick. One Punch Man wasn't that deep. It was just like
boom, One Punch. Okay, harapan kau untuk episod minggu depan. Why is it called Sadness Parade? Silakan.
Well, before we go there, I just nak mention that aku tak rasa that the clones that are attacking Toga dengan Twice ni is Twice punya clones. Because they mentioned that Skeptic can create...
Skeptic just made them look like Twice.
Kan, look, it's just trauma kan. Okay.
Yeah, it could be Frigers attacking Twice. Or like Reaksi or whatever, yeah.
I'm hoping to see Twice punya real potential unleashed, sebab he can make a perfect copy, which was the real cause of his trauma back then lah.
Were you thinking of Black Sperm? I don't know if that's a anime or some hentai shit. Tapi kau cakap Black Sperm, power sama. Apa yang kau tengok ni? Bro?
Aku tak tahu. Kalau aku tahu pun aku cakap tak tahu. So like okay.
Power sama.
But anyway, I want to see the next level lah of the villain academia punya characters ni.
Yeah,
cuma aku rasa yang Mama Lizard tu dia takkan ada power up lah. Because dia punya power is very basic. So the core characters ni there will be a power up. Cuma I'm not sure how Twice punya actual power akan ni lah, what kind of advantage you'll be able to pull off.
What kind of awakening he might have.
Yeah. What kind of awakening.
Okay. Anri, you know the answer
Yeah.
to our question, but what are you hoping? Are you hoping they not cut out more shit ke, ataupun more faithful ke, ataupun
I don't want them to cut
tambahkan more
anything
scenes?
more. They've cut off enough actually. If possible, I want them to add more content on Twice, because like I said, I'm not a fan of him when I was reading manga. So if they want me to actually gain more interest in him, they should add something extra to his character in this anime episode. To be fair, I think next episode is going to be a breakthrough moment for Twice, because when you see him, he was there as the last line of defense for Toga.
Yes.
He said he loves Toga not because of he wants to romantically be linked with her, because she and the rest of the gang was the only family or the only place he had to return. That's why even masa Gira ketangkap kan, we're not going to leave him alone, right? He's one of us. He needs some place to return to. He's not mentally sound or safe. He needs an anchor, and so far the anchor now is the League of Villains in all shapes and forms. So that's my expectations and harapan for next episode lah. Please don't cut anything. Please add something. You've cut off a lot of stuff for the past 20 episodes. Campur. We have like more 4 episodes. Paling kurang 5 more at most. If you cut more, I don't think there's enough left to generate momentum coming to next year. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a season next year, because they want to keep it rolling as much as possible. And I just hope, please, like if you have to make movies, no more, at least one filler episode. Jangan set up like this. the best seasons for My Hero Academia was season 1 and 2 because there were no movies. Everything was focused on the episodes.
Correct.
3, 4, there were movies coming out, but they didn't sacrifice anything, so it was still okay.
Yes.
5, they are more compromise. It's the
worst.
worst. This is the weakest season, if you ask me.
So, what is the name of the story arc after My Villain Academia? Is it too spoilery to say? Cara dia tak jawab. Tak boleh.
It's
Okay lah. Okay. Tak apa. We will get to it eventually. So, itu saja guys untuk malam ini. Terima kasih kerana menonton. Terima kasih kepada para panelis kita. Shaz, Kaki Anime My Hero Academia kita. Anri, Kaki Manga My Hero Academia. Serta Nazir Khan daripada Screenbite di Facebook. Jumpa lagi di malam-malam yang lain. Aku rasa esok kita akan membedah final trailer Eternals. Hari Khamis nanti kita akan bincangkan Stargirl Season 2 Episode 4. Dan hari Jumaat What If Season 2 Episode 4. Harap-harapnya tak adalah caving lagi ya. Insiden 18SX tu. So yes. So dengan itu terima kasih kerana menonton guys. Majulah fandom untuk negara. Alright, bye.